Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to bronze. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glance. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to bronze.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Way. It's Friday. Okay, don't get too happy. It's Friday, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's the preview. I don't even know why I'm happy. Matt's in the building. Eugene's in the building. Charlie's in the building. Matt, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, great still. Shame we haven't got a match tomorrow, but I can't think why, but results over the last couple of days have kind of perked me up a little bit. I can't think the reason, but a certain football club have lost a few football matches recently, which has taken a little bit of the attention. I thought, oh, that's the name. I couldn't think of the name for some reason, but yeah, good. Yeah, really good. Looking forward to the FA Cup tomorrow. I think that's going to be a great game, Man City, Chelsea. But yeah, I'm good. You're rocking the hat today. Talk me through it.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what it is. I don't know what it is, but today I've just been cold. I haven't got a cold. I've just been cold. And even when I put the heating on, it's not quite doing what it normally does. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put a hat on and stay warm today. So yeah. Rocking the hat. And another person rocking the hat. Eugene, talk us about your hat.
I got this from you, right? So I'm just copying you just to cover my balding head, right? Like all Spurs fans. And I'm sorry to tell you, Charlie, one of these days you'll reach there too, right? And for me, is that I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I'm finding joy anywhere at the moment, right? Apart from all the tears from the other side of the where they are, right? But it's to me, I find it quite sad that we find our joy not from our success, but from other people's failures. Oh dear, it is what it is.
What do you mean other people's failures? What do you mean?
Oh dear, please, I don't like that. Is that a vegetable or fruit?
It's an Arteta.
Oh dear. I hope they bottle it in the juice, right?
We'll find out. Charlie, how you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Good to have you back on as always.
Yeah, it's great. Great to be here again. I'm doing amazing. Arsenal's bottled the Champions League, the Premier League, and I hope they'll bottle anything else in the next couple of weeks because when Arsenal does crap, I'm doing amazing. It's like we're reverse psychology, we are. So I'm doing great now. I know Tottenham lost, but Europa League, I'm good with that. So actually, I'm all fine. I'm doing great. I'm doing better than expected after that 4-0 loss, really.
We will talk about the European situation. Let's quickly say hello to everyone in the chat. Eugene, who's on the panel as well. Big up Rodriguez as always. We've got El Said, Adrian's in the house.
Adrian, big up Adrian.
Big up Robert, big up Rob. Stixie, aka Dean, in the building. We've got George, Siraj, Wolves F1, Swifty, big up Swifty. Dagul,
Hey,
in the house. Brian, I've sent you the link if you want to jump on. Louis K's in the house. John George in the house. Benjamin, hope you're doing well. Rob Frank, Robert, hope you're good. Louis K, big up, big up. Smash a like, subscribe. Welcome to the Friday show. Let's get crack-a-lacking. Do you know what? Let's start with this one, actually. Let's start with this one. Well, Tom 81's just slipped in there, and so has Bill right at the end. So, with Europe, okay, there's a conversation now beginning with regards to, do we actually want Champions League? Are we better off in the Europa because it's easier to win? Now, some fans are saying, no, we want to be in Champions League. We want to play the big teams. That's where it's at. We need the money. Others are saying, what's the point of going in it? We still spent big money without Champions League last season, and we're only going to get smashed in the Champions League. We might as well go in the Europa Cup. It's an easier competition. My question isn't, should we go in the Champions League or should we go in the Europa Cup? My question is, and I'm being serious because I've had a whole week of watching Champions League and Europa and Conference League. Should we spend one more season completely out of Europe?
Take it away, Charlie. Take it away.
Well, listen, I think completely out of Europe, that's ludicrous.
One minute. Why did you throw that to Charlie when I said that?
Yeah, I thought you said that too.
Did you say me? I didn't hear that. Sorry. Did you say me?
We'll go to Charlie. We'll go to Charlie. I was wondering, why did he throw that at Charlie?
I didn't hear you say me. Sorry.
No, because if we don't come into it, if we don't warm up with Europa League, how will we ever get into Champions League? I feel like we'll have to start somewhere, and if we start at Champions League, we'll just get knocked out. And to start at Conference League is a bit too easy. So I think Europa League is the perfect way to start. And if we don't start with anything, we'll have to have another season that we'll have to. So let's say we don't get Europa League this season, then next season we'll have to get Europa League because then we still have to warm up kind of to it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do it, I think. So I think just get a season Europa League will just be perfect. That'll just be amazing for me.
Eugene, should we spend one more year out of Europe completely? And the reason I ask this is, I watched the Europa Cup yesterday. I don't think we're good enough for that either. I just don't. And the Conference League, let's be honest, if we're not going to play the kids, it's just going to distract us. And we won't play the kids. So Champions League is beyond us. Europa Cup, I think even that's too hard for us. And Conference League, for me, is just a waste of our time.
Mm-hmm.
What's your
I'm going to say this right stuff because I've been reading the accounts and all that lately, right? So to be honest, to tell the truth, right, we are Spurs. It doesn't matter we are in the Champions League, Conference League, Europa League, whatever league you want to be in Europe, right? Whatever games you want to play, we ain't gonna win it, right? We know we ain't good enough. But one thing I'm aiming for is if we do get in the Champions League, it will give us a bit more money, right? And it will give us, because I've seen the accounts, we've got no money to spend next season. It's zero, it's negative, right? And the only thing that's appreciated in the accounts is the property value of the stadium that's keeping us up, looking good. But beyond that, I don't think we'll have enough money because already it's reflecting on what happened when, it's already said, 2024, I hate to be an accountant at this moment kind of scenario, right? We ain't going to be able to drum up the money. That's why Levy says he needs external investments to come in, which we all know that most probably is going towards the hotel and development of property, right? But hopefully some money of that will trickle down into the footballing side. But at this time of moment, we need all the money we need if we really want to move forward, honestly. And if we stay one more season out of Europe, right, I don't know how they're going to balance the books at the end of the season. The past 4 seasons that we've been through, we've always been in the red, right? And I don't know how PSR are going to hit us and all that. So I would want us to be in Europe, but all for the money, not for the glory. Sad to say, yeah.
Eugene,
Even though I'm
do you know what's interesting? I've asked you. I'll come to you in a minute, Charlie. I've asked you a question about the competition, i.e., the footballing side. We can't win it. We're better off one more year out to be ready, right? No, wait. Your answer was just finance.
Yeah. No, honestly, because to tell the truth, right? If I know we ain't gonna do any progress in that 3 competitions. We've seen it before. We've been there. We've done it, right? Even Conference League, we were the favorites to win it under Mourinho, and we screwed up, right? And if we don't make that certain level, right, a certain manager will be, in a very dangerous position again. Yeah. And to tell the truth, to me, honestly, I don't care anymore, right? I've gone through it, seen it. I'm zen about this. If we are in, we're in. We're not in, we're not in. Yeah. So, and look what's happened this season when we're not in. Nothing much happened. We are still the same. We got our Tottenham back. Oh, yay. Congratulations.
Zen. Okay. You've gone for the Zen. Yeah, Charlie, what do you want to say?
Okay, what I want to add is if we get 8th, we'd have no Europe. So that would mean our season would be a complete failure and we'd have the same that we just ended last year. So if we do not get Europe, I think this whole season was a waste of time. All these highs were doing nothing because the season basically amounts to nothing. Because we this season we want to play Europe. That was our aim since the start. But to get no Europe, then the whole aim of the season has gone away. And I think the season has just gone to waste. We could have literally just watched it. We shouldn't even watched it. That's how I feel about it. That's why. And I think players won't want to come to Tottenham because they see it's a system that doesn't work if we don't get Champions League. Then nobody will come to Tottenham. Then our club will go even more in the wreckings.
But we didn't have Europe last year, Charlie, and we attracted Van de Ven, Vicario, and Madison.
Because we got a new manager who had a very clear system, who called all the players himself, who was very straight.
Same manager's going to be here. Same manager's going to be here.
But look, now he didn't have a chance to show. Now he's had a chance to show it, and if he does the same thing as Conte did last year, then why would people want to come? First, it was he's got a point to prove, and if his point is proven, then people want to come. But if his point doesn't get proven, nobody wants to come. And
you just
last
year, I know people wanted to come because of the manager, but the manager's still here.
No, but listen, that's not what I mean. I mean, the system was very clear. What he wants to do was very clear. Where he wants to play the players was very clear. He called the players himself, and he didn't play yet. So everybody
he can still call the new players.
But then no, they hadn't played yet. So he could say, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do." So the players have to have faith in him. Now, if he gets 8th, there's no attraction to come to Spurs anymore because the system doesn't work. The players don't want to come anymore because last year they wanted to come because he had a clear system, knew what he was talking about. All this. They thought, okay, we can get Champions League or even higher. If then they see after one season they get 8th, there's no more attraction to the club. So why would they join then? That's what I mean.
So you're saying new players will lose belief now that they've seen what he's can and can't do.
But only if we get 8th. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, only if we drop out of Europe. Okay,
yeah, 100%.
That's a fair argument. It's a fair argument. Matt, should we spend one more year out of Europe? Because I am seriously concerned about our capabilities of 2 games a week. I've seen what it's done to Newcastle. I've seen what it's done to Brighton. And I'm honestly just saying it. I'm just putting it out there. I'm worried if this crop go into Europe next year, even with 2 or 3 signings, I'm not convinced.
Personally, I'd say no. I think European football is important for Tottenham and for Ange for his development, because I think he's trying to implant a system and a style of play that's obviously had some successes and had some failures. But I think the more football matches that they get, and you could argue if it's Europa League, if it's still called that, but the Europa League, you could argue the group stage and so forth should be lesser opposition than what we face in the Premier League. So you could potentially argue that in some of the fixtures, he'll be able to implement a little bit more, and the playing minutes in the players' legs, I think, will assist them. We've got a mishmash of a squad at the moment. We've got players that are just not even making the match day squad. Your Brian Hills, your Oliver Skips. So the theory is if we replace those with players that have got a serious, genuine chance of actually playing in the 11, that will help us. But I also understand the question, because what concerns me, which I think some people don't always think about, is whenever we have an international break, it destroys us, because Son travels 3/4 across the world to play at 31, 32, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet, the next game back for Spurs. And I think that's starting to affect his game. He doesn't look the same player since he's come back from that last international break. He looks fatigued. He doesn't look like he's got any acceleration. He doesn't look like he even wants to retain the ball. So I think we've got players that need to get used to by playing more football matches as opposed to training. I'm hoping with another transfer window, if we ship out 5, 8, 9, whatever the number is, and we bring in the players we bring in actually have a chance of playing in this squad, and we haven't had that. So I actually think it will hopefully benefit us. I remember I used to prefer playing than training. That was my when I played. I prefer to play than train, but let's see.
I've got doubts. I think Arsenal had 2 years out of Europe, didn't they? 8th twice. No, they won the FA Cups. They got 1 year in because they won it.
You
I'm torn. I'm actually torn on this. I don't know what's best for us. I don't know what's the best thing.
I'm hoping another 6 months of this style of football, the players will become a little bit more acclimatized. And we've had some freakish injuries this season. The spine of our team has been ripped out month in and month out. I'm hoping that if you look at, I watched Arsenal yesterday and Saliba's barely missed a minute. Gabriel, the goalkeeper, the midfield, Rice, they barely missed a minute.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the pendulum changes next season and 1 or 2 of these other clubs pick up the injuries that we've had.
Yeah. But honestly, right, if I see it right, I will prefer Europe, at least like what Matt is saying, right? It'll give us our players more games, right? Whether it's the first team or the youth that goes out, at least there's a testing ground for certain things to achieve. But like I said, that if we go to the Champions League, I think this season we'll play 8 games in the Champions League, so that will give us more games, right? More what call playing time for the players. If we go in the Europa League, I'm not sure what's the format there at the moment. I haven't studied that too much, but I feel that being Spurs, another season out of Europe, right? Like I said before, I mean, on the finance side, it will dampen us a lot, because we know our owners will pump in their own money to bring us to the next level. Right? So we will have to generate the income to buy the players for Ange. So let's not give him the excuse, right, not to move forward. You see, so it's always looking for excuses, But being a Spurs fan, we know where we stand, right? We know how good our squad is, and a lot of us. I mean, I see it, Stell see it, hopefully Charlie sees it, Matt, we all see it, right? But if we don't have that next level coming to us, if we stay one more year out of it, what happens if we never get back into Europe? That's my fear.
Well, my thinking is we'll have a better squad in a year's time, ready to go into it. Because I don't see the point of going into it if all you do is not win it every time.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's that. But still, you must remember we're Spurs, right? Whenever have we had an actual squad to play in all competitions to actually be good at it, right? So it's a long shot.
So this argument. So yeah, but now you are backing my argument.
Yeah.
Why go in it then?
Yeah. If we don't, it's a chicken and egg thing. You get what I'm saying? Right? If you don't go in it, there are repercussions of not going into it. If we go into it, at least we test our boys to a certain level. You see?
Or run the squad into the ground even more than this year. Yeah, Charlie, you wanted to say something?
Okay, but look, if we get 8th place, I think people want to leave our club and people won't want to join our club that we are intended to sign. Because if we don't get Champions League, the top stars won't want to join our club, because if we don't get to play in Europe, why would a top player want to come to our team? Why? There's no good reason, because last year we couldn't get into Europe. This year we can't. Why would a top player want to go to our team?
But Charlie, have you not heard what Ange said? I don't want the players to come because of Champions League or Europe. I want the players to come because they want to play for Spurs.
But it's always in the back of their mind. It's always in the back of their mind. You want to play for a club, but if a club doesn't do crap all year, they don't really want to do it. Especially if you're a very high potential player. You don't want to go to a club that doesn't play Champions League, can't do well in the cups, and done.
What top players have signed for us? What top players have signed for us when we've qualified for the Champions League?
What top players? Well, not a lot, because we didn't have a lot of inspiration. We didn't have a listen.
But you just said. You just said. Oh, no. You just said if we get to the Champions League, that attracts players because now they believe, right? All the years we've got to the Champions League. 1 minute, Charlie. All the years we've got to the Champions League, what have we attracted? And you said not a lot.
Yeah, because listen, with Poch we couldn't sign anybody. Levy wouldn't let it. With Conte, we got Kulusevski and Bentancur. With
top
Mourinho,
players. No. In the summer window under Conte, what top players did we sign after we got fourth?
Levy didn't back him. Conte wanted Traore.
We spent 180 million.
But Levy, he didn't get. No. Listen, he didn't get the players he wanted. Conte wanted
65 million pounds for
Charlie.
65 million pounds.
Yeah, but that was one place. Listen,
Charlie, no, hold on, no. I've got to stop you here because you're going off on like many tangents. Let's rein it in a minute. Let's rein it in. Conte got Champions League. If you can't believe in a proven winner and you can't believe that you're in Champions League, we signed Clement Longley, Fraser Forrester, Jet Spence, Richarlison. Charlie, when has this club ever attracted talent because we're in the Champions League? Ever?
Not a lot, but I haven't. Look. Players were already attracted to play for Ange, but I feel like if we get into Champions League, there'd be a larger variety that wants to play under Ange. That's what I'm talking, because people want to play under Ange.
Okay, I give you another question back, right?
Why would they want to play under Ange but not Antonio Conte?
Because not every player plays in that same style. Not some players want to be way more attacking, want to be on the wings.
Not every player plays in Ange's style.
No, but what I'm saying is what we want, what we need. There's a lot of people that want to play under us.
Okay, Stell, it's
and
very
not
simple,
under Conte, Serie A winner, multiple Serie A winner,
That's it.
Premier League winner,
Levy didn't back
FA
him.
Cup winner.
Yeah, we can say all this, but Levy didn't want to back him.
No, 1 minute. Hold on a second. Now it's a different argument. Now you're saying to me, Levy will back Ange in the Champions League, but Levy wasn't prepared to back Conte in the Champions League, even though we spent 180 million in that summer under Conte. We spent the money. We
spent the money. Yeah, we spent the money, but not how Conte wanted it. Not how Conte wanted it. We spent the money, but not how Conte wanted it. Look at every interview. He wanted different players than we got. And you can say, oh, we spent this money. We spent the money that was best for Levy. If Levy wants a player, he got it because that would be a cheaper option for him.
So Ange wanted Solomon. Ange wanted Veliz.
No. I think Ange wanted Veliz. Why did he not want Veliz?
Ange wanted Ashley Phillips.
Actually, these are all players for the future. I don't get why we're comparing them because Ange did want Johnson, Ange did want Mickey van der Ven, Ange didn't want Vicario.
Hold on. Timo Werner, one for the future, is he?
Who says Ange didn't want it? Where does it say that Ange didn't want him?
Where does it say he did want him? We spent zero.
Exactly.
If you said to Ange, there's £40 million. Go and sign a winger. Are you telling me he would have picked Timo Werner?
No, but I think
so. There's your answer, Charlie. So Charlie, there's your answer. These are not Ange signings. Some of them, right? I think you're trying to sell to me that because Ange is here. In fact, forget what I think, Matt. You've heard this. What do you make of this? Let's bring in someone else because otherwise it'll just be the Stel v Charlie show, right? Matt, you've heard this little debate here. What's your take on it?
I think Champions League football does have a certain merit. I think the only player that on record said that it was a deciding factor in his decision, in fact, the only two players that said it was a deciding factor in them joining Spurs was Perisic and Bissouma. If you read their interviews, they said, Perisic was literally a toss of a coin between Tottenham and Arsenal. He had both offers on the table, and that final game when Tottenham beat Norwich, that's when he decided to sign for Tottenham. And Bissouma also said that, he kind of dreamt of playing Champions League football, and once he realised Tottenham had Champions League football, that's the place he wanted to be. But I also get your point that it's not the be-all and end-all for our recruitment team and the players that we're looking for. So you've both got elements of truth in what you're saying. I think I'm going to be I'm going to try and speak how I think Daniel Levy won't go after the players that are solely Champions League proven players. The Chiesas of this world, that's not the type of players that Daniel Levy's going to want to pay and want to recruit. So we're going to be looking after your Bergvals who have never played Champions League football. So I think the majority of our recruitment in the summer are going to be players that have either never played Champions League football or would be delighted to play Champions League football, but it won't be the deciding factor on whether they sign for Tottenham. Let's just say Morgan Gibbs-White never played Champions League football. So if Tottenham come to the table for him, I don't think he's going to go, no, I'm going to wait for somebody who's going to offer me Champions League football. He's just going to say, yeah, I'd love to come and play for Tottenham. So I think it's a really difficult conversation because unfortunately we have the Wizard of Oz who's holding the purse strings, and he operates completely different to how we all want this club to be run. And that's the challenge. It's a thankless challenge because, he will always disappoint.
Charlie, Eugene, Matt, if we go into the Europa Cup, do you honestly think we could win it? We'll be up against teams not of the highest quality, PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, but we will have to play the Leverkusens, the Romas, some tricky teams in France. Can we really go over two legs whilst juggling the Premier League and win the Europa Cup? Because even under Conte, Mourinho and Poch and Martin Jol, who all did play some seasons without Champions League, they couldn't navigate it.
Honestly, to tell you, right, I keep saying it doesn't matter what we go into because we ain't going to go for it because, our focus has always been that top 4 position for the money. Right? So hopefully if we already are in the Champions League and get enough quality players to maintain that top 4, I'm sorry to say that, right? Because I don't think top 4 is a trophy or any kind of achievement, but that's what the philosophy and the DNA of our club is, right? Not to win things, right? To make money. That's it. And going to the Europa League, it doesn't guarantee a shoe in that we're going to win it. Right? look at what happened to Liverpool, right? Liverpool was the main favorite to win the Europa League, right? And last night, they got kicked out of it. So do you think we will have the squad deep enough to go all the way to the finals or even make it out of the group stage? We've never made it out of the group stage in the Conference League, right? We didn't make it out of the groups. I'm not sure. I can't remember the Europa League. Have you ever made out of the group stage? In the
Yeah,
Europa
we got
League?
to the quarterfinals. We've got to the quarterfinals of Europa.
In the Europa League once, right, or twice. So in that day,
we lost to Genk and to Dinamo Zagreb, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah.
Dinamo Zagreb was the was when we were
when the manager was in jail, right? The manager was managing the team from jail, and we still lost to them. So 4-1, if I'm not mistaken, that game, right? So, but
I think it was 3-0 on the night with 2-0 up on aggregate.
Yeah, we are Spurs fans. We know what our club has been doing for the past 18 years, right? 24 years under.
Yeah, but do you think it would change in Europe? Do you think it would change in Europe under Ange? That's what we're we're trying to understand.
Yeah, Ange can't even defend in the Premier League. Do you think he can defend in Europe? That's my other question.
I don't disagree. Charlie. Yeah.
I think these next years are going to be a bit easy in the Europa League, especially because the Champions League won't drop off into the Europa League. So that means, like, let's say Real Madrid has a bad season, like Atletico Madrid has a bad season, they drop into the Europa League. Usually you would play against them in the quarter semi-finals, but now you won't. It would just be Europa League.
You know, the teams in the semi-final of the Europa League this year, none of them dropped from the Champions League.
Yeah. I know, but usually it is the case. Not this season, but usually that is the case. Usually there's a couple of them.
Let me ask you. Go on, Matt.
No, I was just going to say, I think the Achilles heel for Tottenham, and has been for as long as I can remember, is squad rotation. We don't have the depth of squad. So when the fixtures start to come thick and fast, so the further you progress, whether it be the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, Europa, Champions League, and you start to play every 3 or 4 days, we don't have the squad to rotate. So when we do rotate, the drop-off is so huge that everybody has a meltdown when we get knocked out by Sheffield United or we get knocked out by Zagreb, because the players that come in for that fixture are not at the level. So all roads lead back to the owner, because he never supplements the squad to the level to be competitive in multi-formats. And that will be our Achilles heel. So we're going to blame Ben Davies, or we're going to blame Emerson Royale, but they're just not at the level that's required to be competitive. Normally, February, the Carabao Cup final, semi-final, March, April, knockout phases of Europa or Champions League. That's normally, if you follow Tottenham's last 10, 15 years, that's normally where our season finishes, because we get knocked out of the competitions, because the squad gets stretched and we don't have the depth to compete. We were fortunate that we had 8-10 years of Kane and Son, who was your get out of jail card, because they gave you 50 goals and assists every season, rain or shine. So Levy was sitting pretty because he had the golden egg in Harry Kane and Son, regardless of how the team played, regardless of the fixtures. End of the season, 50 goals and assists. That took Spurs to a certain point in the season. That's been a dramatic drop-off now, because Kane's no longer there and Son's now 31, 32, and he's round the world Phileas Fogg football that he does, starting to catch up with him. So Spurs are in a difficult position come next season and the next couple of seasons, because who is going to post those numbers? That's the question.
Hard to disagree, which is why I've been arguing about our forward attackers need to get at least double-digit goals. I want to move on to another conversation going on amongst Spurs fans. After the Newcastle loss, a lot of fans said, be patient, it takes time, trust the process, yada, yada, yada. Remember what we said pre-season, we'd finish 8th, people forget that, blah, blah, blah. Right. Has Ange inherited a better squad than what his counterparts that he's been compared to during their process have been what they inherited, right? So if we look at Ange's squad against Newcastle, you've got Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Benton, Basuma, Madison, Johnson, Son, Werner. Some say that is our best starting 11, right? They're all fit. They're there. On the bench, Dragusing, good cover for the centre-backs. Royale and Davies, not so good cover for the wing-backs. Højbjerg, Lo Celso, not bad replacement for the midfield. Brian Gill and Kulusevski, replacements for the front three. You could say Kulu's okay, Brian, not so much. But nonetheless, the starting 11 is good enough. Let me show you the starting 11 that Arteta inherited. Leno in goal, a back four of Maitland-Niles, Saka as left back, David Luiz and Socrates as centre backs, Xhaka, Torreira, Ozil in midfield, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Nelson in a front three. Is that better, worse, or the same as Spurs? Look at Klopp. Mignolet in goal, Moreno, Klein as wing-backs, Lovren and Skirtle as centre-back, a midfield three of Milner, Henderson and Coutinho, and a front three of Sturridge, Benteke and Lallana. Guys, when you look at Arsenal, what Arteta inherited, what Klopp inherited, and you look at us, has Ange inherited a better squad than both of those teams? Therefore, we should be doing better. And fans who say, oh, but look what happened in Arteta and Klopp's first season. Well, we're better. Or do you disagree? Matt, you go first on this one. You can't pass the buck to Charlie.
To be honest with you, Stella, I think the Liverpool one's not too bad. I know people forget Daniel Sturridge has been finished for 3 or 4 years, but Daniel Sturridge at Liverpool was very good.
Matt, hold on a minute. That Liverpool back four, Moreno, Skirtle, Lovren, Klein, and Mignolet in goal.
Yeah, that's shaky. That's shaky.
It's all,
that is shaky.
Didn't we beat them 4-1 at Wembley?
That is shaky. That's a shaky back four. But I think Milner and Henderson is I think competent.
That's good.
I don't think the world beats
quality.
I think that's solid. I think Coutinho, Sturridge is. I think Sturridge was some player, and I think Coutinho, especially that last season before he went to Barcelona, was on fire. So
Benteke up front.
He struggled. In a club team, you've got to run. And the one thing Benteke didn't want to do is run. If you're not balls from back to front, he's a handful. But if he's got to run channels and close people down, forget him. Not your centre forward. And that's a great illustration style of systems, managers, and formations. So I think with Ange, he's changed the kind of how we play, how we set up. It's a full 180 degrees. So I think with Klopp, who replaced Brendan Rodgers, it wasn't too dissimilar. It was a possession-based football, a lot of interchanging, a lot of 1 and 2 touch football, which Brendan Rodgers, and he improved on that and obviously took it on. But I think had Ange taken the Poch squad or the style of play, I would get your question more. But I think the challenge Ange had is we had 4 years of anti-football, in my opinion. Yes, results were okay at times, especially under Conte, but the football, we actually set up to counter-attack. And I think we've changed that dramatically even though it's not showing recently, but the thesis is it's aggressive front foot football. We pin people in, we win the ball back higher up the pitch, and we keep on the front foot. That's obviously not happening at the moment, but that's what he's trying to do. So it's a better team than people think. I will agree with you there, Stelly. We've got a better squad than what people think we got. And it's interesting now after certain results. Now, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of YouTubers saying this squad's awful. We're somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's a world-beating squad, but I don't think it's awful. I think this squad is competent for a top 4, top 5 challenge, and that's it.
Okay.
Eugene, you when
Okay,
you
to
look
tell
at
the
our
truth, right?
squad, is it fair to compare it to what Arteta and Jurgen Klopp inherited?
To tell the truth, right? What I see in the lineups that you brought up from when they first took over, the inherited squad from those teams, right? Honestly, to tell the truth, right? Ange actually has, how would you say, semi-inherited the squads and all that, right? To a certain extent, where he's got a lot of new players in there, right? I'm not sure how many players did Arteta change and how many players did Klopp change, because if I'm not mistaken, Arteta came in halfway through the season. So basically, Arteta inherited a worse squad than what we do have now, because our squad has improvement from our previous squad. As you see the lineup, I think 6 or 7 of the players are playing are actually new players playing for Ange. So Ange is more or less has an upgrade of what he got from Conte, right? Klopp's side, as I see it, I still think we still have a slightly better squad than what Klopp inherited when he took over at the time, because he was talking about you had Milner, Henderson, and Miller, but of course their defense, we remember what Lovren did, right, in Wembley against Kane and Son. And of course the attacking, they had Coutinho. That was before they sold Coutinho, right? And they went on that run. But we must remember, the first season when Arteta there, he inherited the squad and he inherited that FA Cup. And then he was 8th place, right, for 2 seasons in a row. So that was his development time. So I guess, what do I say? Ange actually has a better squad than those 2 managers when he came into the teams. That's how I see it.
Charlie?
I see Ange inherited Ben Davies as left back, Hugo Lloris as goalkeeper, Eric Dyer as centre back, Oliver Skip in midfield.
No, Charlie,
No,
you're not.
comparing-
You're not. Charlie, stop.
I don't get,
Before,
but I don't know what you mean. Because
before
if we
the
look at
season, no, hold on, Charlie. Wait a minute, right. Let me reword it, right? So I know what you're trying to do there, and you ain't gonna do that, right? This is the team Arteta had to play the season with. Wait.
I'm saying Arsenal's is worse, but I'm saying Liverpool's. I think we can keep it on a line.
Charlie. This is the season that Klopp played with Liverpool. This is the team and started the season with, right? You're telling me the team before the season started, right?
But look, you're saying inherited. Ange didn't inherit Matt Van der Ven, didn't inherit Vicario, didn't inherit.
That's why I just reworded it, Charlie. That's why I just reworded it.
Okay, but look, now you say this. Now I think we've got a way better team. But if we talk about inherit, we did not have a way better team than Liverpool inheriting. We did not have a way, because last year we were not playing well enough to do this.
The first season of each manager playing Premier League football, where the players kick a ball in a Premier League game, did we have a better team than those 2?
After we got the players or before we got them? No,
when we first kicked a ball in the Premier League, right?
We did have an advantage. We did have an advantage because Ange bought us players.
Why are you like this? What are you doing? What are you trying to do? Why are you trying to defend it?
No, because I think we're putting a lot of stick on Ange.
No, I'm not putting stick. Far from it. I'm asking the question because what I'm hearing on social media is it's Ange's first season. You forget what we predicted. Our expectations are too high. And I'm just, from the other side of the coin, I'm saying, but hold on. Is there not an argument? I'm saying, is there an argument to be had? Ange's got a better team than what those guys had in their first season. Therefore, we should be doing better. And we are.
You had to give him praise for the players he did get, because we could have gotten any other centre back. This could have not worked out and we would have been 8th. So you have to give him praise.
That's not the question. That's not the question. I'm not questioning the transfers that were made, because then I have to praise Jurgen Klopp for selling Coutinho and bringing in Van Dijk and Alisson. Then I have
that was after the second season.
Yeah, but hold on. Arteta came mid-season. He didn't get a transfer window, right? So when I go into the first transfer window, right? If I look at Klopp's first transfer window, I have to praise him for bringing in Trent and Robertson. I have to praise Arteta for getting rid of Aubameyang and Ozil, right? So I'm not here to praise managers on transfers. I'm just arguing or putting the argument forward. Has Ange got a better squad for the first season of football than Klopp and Arteta had?
Yes. Yeah.
You said that
Ange
with
has.
such frustration. Yes.
No, not even frustration. But look, because you first said inherited, that's why. Because now you reworded it all. Yes, now we do have a better team now. Yes.
Guys, listen, if you don't think I'm wrong, or if you think this argument is stupid, you're allowed to say it. I'm not going to be offended. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's stupid.
I'm just trying to be balanced with it. I'm Ange in, by the way. I'm Ange in, unless he signs team in the summer, then I'm Ange out. But do you guys think that Ange should be doing better because he's got a better squad? Do you think that's fair, guys? Do you think we should be doing better, or do you think it's a bit harsh?
I don't. You know what it is? I think we're doing all right with the players he got. I think we're sitting about right, and I think if we get out of Europe, then he's had a bad season. You know what I mean? Because
let me spin the question. Let me spin the question. If Jurgen Klopp had this team season 1, what would your expectation be?
Low, because I didn't know a lot of the players before they came. That's what I'm saying. Like Vicario didn't know before they came. Porro was a season before, but like quite a lot of players didn't know.
Bentancur, Bissouma, Maddison, Heung-min Son, Turbo Vina.
I'm talking like Dragusin, all these bench players. I would have thought 7th or
starting
8th.
11. Starting 11.
I think I would have said 6.
So you think if Jurgen Klopp had these players in season 1, we should have finished 8th?
No, I'm saying 6th. I'm saying he would have finished 6th. First season, his first season managing the Premier League. It's my opinion. I know.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Okay. Matt, if Jurgen Klopp inherited our starting 11 season 1, what would your expectation have been for Jurgen Klopp?
I think in comparison to what he's up against, I would say about 4th or 5th, because you obviously got to measure your opponents that you're competing against. And I think Aston Villa, who probably people slept on at the start of the season, have now proven to be a serious player. Nobody predicted Chelsea falling off a cliff as much as they have. People were expecting bigger things from Newcastle with that good feel factor after finishing in the top 4 last season. So I think Klopp probably would have done a similar performance to Ange in his first season managing these players. I think it's understated almost because of the challenges of the caveat is if you lose your marksman, if you lose your go-to player, your clutch player, which was Kane, on the eve of the season starting, certain managers might have kicked up more of a stink than what Ange did. So I think he takes praise for how he handled that. Like devastating news, because I was devastated when Kane, because he played did he play against Shakhtar Donetsk? Have I got that right? I think he played against Shakhtar Donetsk the last friendly. He did, didn't he? And I think he scored a hat-trick,
right? Yeah, he scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, he scored a hat-trick in his last game against Shakhtar Donetsk. And then you're thinking, Kane in this team with Ange offering up so many chances, Kane's going to hit 40 goals this season. So I was devastated. I genuinely was devastated when the timing of the sale. Had he have been sold before the Australia trip, you've got time to kind of deal with it. But I think that gets overlooked, how much of an impact that could have had to our season when you lose, because a lot of supporters, opposing supporters, thought that was our death nail. That was our death certificate, selling Kane. So I think, in a nutshell, still, I think he would have done similar. Klopp.
Similar. Can I just say to Alpesh, still, it's not an argument because we are not playing the same system as last season. It's not the same. We are playing completely different still. Big, bold, shouty letters. No, it is the same, because when Arteta came into Arsenal, he changed the system. Different system to last season's Arsenal before Arteta came in. When Klopp came to Liverpool, they played Gegenpress, completely different to the previous system. So this argument makes no sense. Each manager that comes into a club normally changes the system. So I can compare it because each manager Klopp walked into a shit show. Arteta walked into a shit show. Ange walked into a shit show. All of them walked into problems. All of them changed the systems in their first season. The only difference I would say is Ange probably got more backing early doors going into the season than Arteta and Klopp. Arteta, because he took over half season, I don't think there's much Arsenal could have done. And Klopp, I don't remember all the signings, but they definitely didn't spend £200 million the way we did. So, all right, well, look.
Stella, I think just
Go.
to add to that, I think because of how bad the season finished.
Do you remember Arsenal, Matt? Do you know what was going on? They were Wenger out. The stadium was empty.
Yeah, but
I don't 10,000 people. There are 10,000 people protesting.
I don't mean the manager style. I mean the ownership model. I think it had got that venomous against Levy. And there's that famous clip where he touches his wife's, or she touches his hand to say, like, they're there. I think it had got that poisonous.
Man, they were cronky out. The whole fan base, even AFTV, were cronky out.
Yeah, but I'm on about 20 years still. I'm not on about a 5-year or 6-year period.
Arsenal haven't won a league title in 20 years. For them, it's the end of the football club.
No, I know, but in my living
history, Liverpool haven't won a league title for 30 years.
Yes. But I think it had got to, in my opinion, like Armageddon with Levy. It had got that bad. Were you saying Spurs were at breaking point? We were at breaking point, basically. To me, it looked like. I remember Irving Scholar.
I'm just trying to argue for the sake of it.
Okay.
I remember Irving Scholar.
Let Matt finish. Go on.
I remember Irving Scholar days. I remember Alan Sugar days. But I don't remember the majority of social media, because I'm not going to say all fans because that's unfair, but the majority of the social media masses were Levy out, and it was venomous. So the history of Daniel Levy, he only makes a splurge style when he's at rock bottom. If you follow him, he only seems to do that when he has to. Had Tottenham finished second, he wouldn't have spent 180 million. The reason he spent that volume of money is, one, he had the Kane money coming in, and two, he had to do something because he was, it was a siege. You know what I mean? He was under pressure.
You know what he had to do? He had to splurge the money, right, to get us back into Europe again. That's what he had to do. Okay, I'm going to come back to what Stel was asking earlier.
Eugene, Eugene, you know what you just said? Maz, who does the Monday shows with us, he says that the only reason we signed certain players was out of necessity, i.e. Lloris and Fraser Forrester, it was bye-bye, so we had to sign a goalie. Regarding Van de Ven, Longley's loan wasn't extended and Eric Dyer was on his way out. We had to sign a centre-back. And with Lucas, Lamela, these players on the way out, we had to sign an attacking mid. So the signing of Madison, Van de Ven and Vicario, although they're good, it wasn't done out of
emergency. No, it wasn't done out of planning. It was all done out of reactionary actions by our owner. We all know that, right? It's always been reactionary. But to tell the truth, right? We know what our owners are. We are Spurs fans for so many years. I mean, Charlie's still very young, right? He's still got to go through the process of being, broken most of the time, right? We've seen this over, rinse and repeat, wash, dry, over, rinse and repeat. But coming back to your question, right? If Klopp had that first team, right? I think he'll do better because number one, Klopp will play the Gegenpress, right? He would have the defense and the wingers to go up with Porro and Udogie, right? We won't be playing inverted fullback, okay?
That's true.
We'll be more
open
up in midfield, right? Our attackers will be more creative with Klopp. We will press the ball more. So I think if we had that squad with Klopp now,
Would we score the
this-
goals, Eugene? Would we score the goals with Brendan Johnson, Richarlison's, and Timo's? Because it's
No,
he
the
had
thing is, okay,
he had
that is hard to
Coutinho,
say.
Lallana.
I mean, yeah, that's hard to say too, right? So it's something that we have to think about and forecast in our mind with what kind of players Klopp has and how he will play that squad. I mean, that first team that he has, right? And as I see the first team that he had and the proven talent that we've had this, how many games we played this season, right? I think Klopp would have done a better job. We might not win the league. We might be fighting for third instead of fighting for fourth. I'll see that, right? But the problem is, right? What's happening now is our fan base, like all of us know, right? After that 4 years from Mourinho to Conte, right? The type of football that's, counter-attacking, pragmatic, blah, 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 right? Like what Danny keeps to say, just as long as push the ball forward, right? Our whole fan base will be happy, right? Guys, admit it. The past 10 games that we watched Spurs play, how many games have we been impressed? How many games have we not been bored? Right? How many games? I've been saying this. Yeah, we've been playing horseshoe football. One end to the end, go 1-U, come back 1-U. It's like we don't know how to get the ball in because we don't have a striker that hits the ball in. Number one. Number two, right? Son is getting fed up because Son is not a number 9, right? He needs to run into space and beat players, right? Son, whenever he's in the middle, right? He has 3 players on him. He doesn't know what to do. That's not Son's position. He's playing out of position. That's why I think Son is also losing it a bit at this moment in time, even though he's the captain, sorry to say. But I think Klopp would have done a much better job than what Ange has done with the first 11 that Ange has inherited. I believe that.
Sorry,
So,
guys. There's news breaking. Apparently, Spurs have made a concrete bid to sign striker Mohamed Amoura from Royal Union Saint Gilloise.
How old? 17?
Stealth.
How old?
Do you remember?
How old? Who is he?
He hasn't been born yet. He's going to be born next year.
Stealth. Go back through the text I sent you and Tottenham away about 3 weeks ago.
Mohamed Amoura, who plays for Royal Union Saint Gilloise.
He just turned 13.
He's rapid.
17 million pounds.
He is rapido.
He is cheapido.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this, right?
Matt, is he any good though? Is he good? Can he play football? Can he score? Can he create? Honestly, Premier League.
He is frightening on a one-on-one. Frightening.
Oh, no. This is what I heard about Brendan Johnson before we signed him.
Frightening on a one-on-one. Frighteningly quick. He's quicker than Brendan Johnson.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this, right? I think
I can't wait to see his pace, his speed when teams low block us.
Yes. Nowhere to run to with the space and speed. But I've got this question for you.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
I've got this question for you still. Hold on. I got this question for you, right? Since I think the club has heard you, right? They ain't going to sign Timo Werner on a permanent. They're going to take him on 1-year loan again. So you still be engine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Levy's playing a trick on you now, you know?
Maz, I didn't say we were on for the league. I said if we sign 3 top quality players in January, we are dark horses. And you can't tell me if Kane was still at the club right now, 10 points off the top, we wouldn't be dark horses. We would be. Because that's the way the season was going. If we signed 3 top players in January, 100% would be in the title race. I was right. But we signed Dragusin to sit on the bench, Turbo Wiener, who doesn't score, and Bergval, who we don't see until next year. So,
but Dragusin wasn't a bad one, right? I think Dragusin was an all right one to sign.
He's not someone that can come off the bench and change the game, though, Charlie. He's not one that's going to push us.
Right?
He's a squad player.
It is a centre back. I mean, a centre back can't completely change a game. However, whatever you do with him, maybe for defensive moments, you can't ever score a goal with a centre back.
That's what I just said. Charlie, that's what I just said. He's not going to come off the bench and change a game. Well,
maybe. Actually, I do have something against that because he is the best header.
So now you're going to argue with what you just said.
Yeah,
You
but I
just
am.
said to me
Because,
no.
no, listen, I just talked over myself. Just listen, please. Dragosin is the tallest player, maybe not the tallest, but he's the best header in our team. He is the best
How
at
do you
headering.
know he's the best? How do you know he's the best header in our team, Charlie?
Because I talked with Dan, and Dan watched Serie A. He told me he was a great header.
Because you talk with Dan.
Mate, listen, Dan, he watched Serie A. He watched it
One
against
minute.
He's a good header.
You're I'm telling you, you're a funny one. Because I talk with Dan. Okay, done. Fair enough. Right. Listen,
No,
I think the best header of the ball at the club, if I'm just going to go by with what we've seen, the best header of the ball in the club at scoring goals is probably Richarlison. I would say most probably.
But he's injured again.
I can't prove it. I don't have data or stats. I haven't spoken to Dan either to get confirmation. But big up, Dan. Hotspur Hood, make sure you like and subscribe. A good guy. But I do think that just by what we've seen this year, Richarlison has been our best player in the air at scoring goals. Maybe defensively, Dragusin's the best. I can't see why not.
Yeah,
scoring goals, I don't know. I think Richarlison.
But guys,
my point is, we didn't sign 3 players in January that would come on and really change the game for us. Anyway,
no, there wasn't any money in January. You know, that's what I see now, right? This January transfer window, not many big clubs sign big players, right? That's where M City is now. That's where Arsenal is now. That's where Liverpool is now. They couldn't improve the squad. We Spurs were the biggest spender in January transfer window. Guys, think about it. When has that ever happened, right? Because of just signing one defender, Dragosin. And we knew we needed a 6. We knew we needed 9, right? To at least supplement. Richarlison is not there. Not use Son as the 9 most of the time. But instead, what Stel says, we got who? Yeah, we got the turbo.
Sorry guys. Big up to you, man.
Hey, big up, man. Big up. Yeah, it's gonna be 1 a.m. in Hong Kong for her now. Yeah, big up to you.
But still, one more thing, yeah. I know. I said because I talked to Dan. But if you look at the pure length, no, listen, if you look at the pure length, and if you see how good he is at interception in the air, if you look at the stats, he does have great stats in having. I don't watch Serie A myself. If you look at the stats, he's doing great. He's great in the air. That's what I based off. And talking to Dan,
Charlie, intercepting the ball in the air is not scoring
headering
goals.
Away. What I'm talking about, headering away, headering. He's got a great headering rate.
All right, but is that a game-changing sub to bring on someone that can header the ball away? Is that a game-changing moment?
Do you buy a centre back for a game-changing moment? I don't think so.
But I never said that a centre back should be a game changer. The point I made was that we didn't sign 3 players in January that would game changers, like real players that impact us. Dragusin was signed as a backup because we were getting rid of Eric Dyer. That's the reality of it. Dyer was out. We needed a good backup, and that's what he is. So I was saying that if we'd signed proper, like instead of Turbo Werner, if we signed like a really good wide player who's attacking forward, who's scored goals, if we signed another attacking mid to give Maddison a run for his money, if we signed those kind of players, I think we would have been in the title race. I do. If we signed a better number 6, for example, I think we would have been in the title race. Whether we'd win it or not, different story, right? But I definitely think with only a 10-point gap, those players would have closed that gap for me. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think if we signed some really if we signed a top number 6 and if we signed a goal scoring player up front, do you think the gap between us, Liverpool and City would have been closer this year when you consider there's only like 10, 11 points in between us?
High possibility, right? There's always a high possibility that the gap will be closer, right? I mean, if we kept Harry Kane, most probably we'd be challenging for the league too, if we were looking at that. But
that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point.
If we kept Harry Kane, we would be challenging for the league. Imagine if we had Harry Kane with those chances being created, right? Instead of having Richarlison as our number 9 and Son actually playing as his favorite role and his preferred role, right? Then we would have much more chances. But we didn't get the things that we want. As also, we all knew that we were, as Spurs fans, it always happens to us. If we did get that proven goal scorer, right, who actually in that half of the season could have gotten us extra 10 goals, right? Why not? right? We could have been challenging, not say challenging for the league, but closer to the top 3,
Charlie, is this true? Your favorite
It
ice
is
cream
actually
is
true.
walnut and ginger because Dan said
Dan
it's
told
delicious.
me. Dan told me. Yeah. No. Listen, that was just a comparison. Look, he watches Serie A, so I listen to him about the Serie A because I don't watch it myself. But talking about the January transfer window, to buy 3 amazing players in the January transfer window, you'd have to put up, first of all, you have to have like 40% price market up because nobody puts their players in January for a low price. Second thing, there's not a lot on the market to begin with. So to get a very good player, it's already hard. And people were looking at like all these like
We signed Bentancur for 17. We signed Bentancur for 17
but that's
million
lucky. That was
the
bloody lucky.
Oh, that one's luck. That one's luck. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is luck. Because I mean, listen.
So when we get a player for a cheap price, you call it luck. When we play an overinflated price, that's normal. How much did we pay for Dragusin? How much was he?
25.
Yeah, 35.
Was that luck as well? Was that luck?
No, because I think he was worth that money, and I think in the summer we would have paid like 20, not a lot. But the thing is, I'm not meaning. I said luck. I didn't mean to say luck. Okay, that was not lucky. That was a good signing we made. It was a good signing. Let me rephrase my words. Getting Bentancur was a great signing. Listen,
what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me today? What are you doing?
I've got too much energy. I've been home since 12. I've been waiting for the stream for like 6 hours.
He's hyper.
I'm saying things. I'm saying things without. I'm saying things without thinking about it.
Yeah. How many Coca-Colas have you had?
Like 3, 4. Do you know? I've had a Red Bull.
A Red Bull too.
Listen, let me change the subject, right? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, guys, right? So earlier on this week, or was it last week? I think Eric Dyer came out and said when Conte was here that they did a lot on tactics, but when Ange arrived, they didn't do tactics. So Conte worked on tactics, and Ange doesn't work on tactics, and this threw a lot of Spurs fans. And obviously, the timing of it after losing to Newcastle was just perfect. But again, Eric Dyer, you were taught tactics under Conte and you still didn't do well. So should we really listen to what you say, Dyer? Having said that, Ange did reply. And he was asked in a press conference, and this is what Ange said. It's probably something you'd have to ask Eric Dyer about. I don't know what you mean by tactical work. That's a bit worrying. Everything we do is geared on how we are going to play our football. So for me, by extension, this is tactical work, whether that's on us or whether it's on the opposition. In fact, I would probably say we don't do anything apart from tactics. That's what we do every day. If we're working on our fitness, we're still trying to play our football, but I haven't seen the interview, so I'm not sure what he's referencing. If you're talking about, do we do training where we stand around working on how to stop the opposition, how we're going to break them down? No, we don't do that. But I don't think that's the only kind of tactics that exists. I think anyone who trains with us will tell you that all we do is train on the way we play. Maybe that's not tactical work. I don't know. Right. Now we're getting into the grounds of wishy-washy responses, which is what we began to get from Poch and Conte, Mourinho and all the others. Matt, I'll tell you what I interpreted from that, and then you tell me what you think. I think fans assume that when you do tactics, you work on the tactics of your team and you look at the tactics of the opposition and you make sure that you can deliver your tactics in the match, but also be aware of what the tactics of what the opposition will be so we can find weaknesses to exploit. That's what I assume most fans think when we use the word tactics, not just 4-4-2, 4-3-3. That's just formation. That's one element of tactic. I think fans are a bit more advanced than just thinking, right, 4-3-3, that's the tactics. When Ange is kind of suggesting that I only focus on our tactic, we're not too bothered what they do. Matt, am I right in what I've interpreted? If not, how did you interpret it? And two, if Ange doesn't focus much on the opposition, is this a major red flag in your opinion?
Yes, there's a red flag because recent performances are showing without the ball, we are all over the place. So that kind of backs up what he's saying, which is we focus on us when we've got the ball. In an ideal world, you have a pattern of play when you've got the ball, and you have a pattern of play when you don't have the ball. So in possession and out of possession. What worries me about Tottenham at the moment is out of possession, we are so easy to play through, and we're asking an enormous amount of Van der Ven, Romero as the two central defenders. So they're getting pulled all over the place. That worries me, because the better the opposition are, you get punished. Newcastle was a perfect example of that. Had that been Burnley, we might have got away with that and come back and won 2-1 and gone 2 80-minute goals and we win 2-1. But against Newcastle or an Arsenal or a Man City, that game's over before we've even got into the game. So that's the worry for me. Now, he's too well schooled, he's too well ingrained in football to just have tactics on when we've got the ball and not worry about it. I think that's been a little bit tongue-in-cheek. He must have a pattern of play when they've got the ball. You have to. You know, you've got oodles and oodles of coaches looking at every team, their strengths, their weaknesses. At the moment, the worry is it's not being executed on the pitch. Set plays, we look all over the place. They win the first header, they win the second header, they win the third header. We don't seem to get ahead on the ball. So there's for me, if we're doing one of those things wrong, that's a worry. But we're doing the second part wrong. We're doing the third part wrong. You know, you look at the first goal against Newcastle. We've got 3 players back and they've got 2 attackers. Somehow that ends up in the back of our net. Can't happen. A top 6 club, it cannot happen. So we just look totally weak, vulnerable, and easy to play against. That's the worry. And the longer that happens, those interviews are going to cost him. You know, I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid had he had that interview after the first 10 games. The problem is now results are going against him, so everything's under the microscope.
Okay. Honestly, right?
Very, 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 very hard to disagree with much of what Matt said at all, if anything. Yeah, Eugene, what's your interpretation?
Honestly, right, to me, is what I saw is a major red flag there, because he says that he doesn't care about the opposition's tactics, right? Because you're in the Premier League, the opposition will care about your tactics and they will suss you out. And to tell the truth, right, if you didn't put out that reply to Ange to Dyer, right, I most probably said that Dyer, stop crying. Ange didn't want you. That's why you didn't know about his tactics, right? But what Ange came out and said now, right, has actually given a big red flag to me now. Says that he's too arrogant because he thinks his style of play, right, is going to win us the league, go for a league title next season. No way. You already been sussed out now. You can't defend. Like what Matt's saying, we keep losing the second ball, the third ball, the fourth ball, you know, and when you remember when you were showing how our defense works now, when the ball goes over the top, right, our players are running into space, but not running to the players with the ball, or checking out the players who are running into with the attacker. So what is that all about? So that shows us our naivety in our defense. Like I've been saying, if we don't have a strong defense, right, we ain't going to win anything, because all the big managers with one things have always said, what have they said, right? Defense will win you the titles and the trophies, right? Because if you can't defend and you just keep on scoring, but how many times can you go and score? You see, but that big red flag is that when he says that, I understand while he coaches and trains his team, that is part of his tactics. Maybe he doesn't sit down with the squad, right, during before the match day comes along. Everybody opens up a file, look through the videos, who plays what, who does what, you're supposed to do what, you're supposed to do what. Maybe he doesn't do that. Maybe that's what Dyer is saying. There's no tactics there. There's no actual intellectual thinking. That's why you're saying, that's why what I see our Spurs players doing now, right? They're all running around like a bunch of headless chickens whenever we don't have the ball. They don't know what they're doing. They look lost. They look stupid on the field, to tell the truth, whenever we get attacked. So that is the thing. If Ange doesn't change his mindset that the Premier League, it's a totally different ball game. If you don't get your things right properly, the other top managers around you are going to eat you alive. That's how I see it. And that's the very big red flag there when that statement came out, right? So it's pushing me more and more closer to being doubtful against Ange now, right?
Charlie,
Square,
what did Dan tell you? What did Dan tell you about the Derek?
Come on, guys. Dan's my mate. Come on, guys. No,
I'm just pulling you, Charlie.
Listen,
I know.
big up to Dan Hotspur.
Yeah.
Big up.
Danny, big up. Not Deem Easy, don't forget, not Deem Easy Dan, Danny.
No, don't take advice from Deem Izzy, Dan. Right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. He thinks Richarlison's the next Ronaldo. So,
well, he's got a point now. Look, I think what they're saying, it's a lot of naivety from Ange. He doesn't. If he was winning every game, go for it, do it. If you don't win every game, we don't see how you're playing. We see that you get countered, you get exploited in these areas. Just have an analysis. What does the other team do to exploit us? How do they play? Because if you don't do anything about the other team, yourself as a team is going to suffer under the other team's pressure. Because let's say you're playing against a low block and you're playing exactly the same as, let's say you're playing against a high block or like a high line. Who says that will work out? I think it's a lot of naivety from Ange's side, and I think he should change that. He should be talking more about what the others are going to do.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of comments here. By the way, thank you to Just a Harmless Potato, channel member. Big up to you. There's a couple of comments from H here that I want to address. Big up, H. I hope you're well, by the way. I haven't seen you in ages. I don't think it's a red flag. I can see what Ange is doing. He's first focusing on the players feeling comfortable in his style and system. Once they're comfortable, he will work on recovery. We get caught out of possession because our players are weak and not comfortable on the ball. This is a major part of Ange's game, possession and quick ball recovery. Right. I'm going to address this. If you do not study your opponents, it is a big red flag. No question of a doubt. I'm sure Ange does look at the opponents. And I'm pretty convinced what he said in that press conference, either he's bantering the media, for some reason he just didn't want to give a straight answer, or he actually doesn't consider the opposition at all, and he actually means what he says. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and just say he was just playing the media, but I think it's backfired. Because
big up Dan. Dan is here.
Because big up Dan. Because like Matt said, every time we lose now, they're going to go back to those comments and they're going to take that possible tongue-in-cheek as gospel. This is why you must study your opponents. H, this is why I disagree with you, right? On a basic level, whether you're teaching players a system to be comfortable on the ball, focusing on the style and system, you must still, whilst doing that, look at the opposition and just from a basic level, no analysis, no video technology, look at your opposition and say, who is their danger man? Like the most basic of opposition analysis. Who is their danger man? Right. Keep an eye on him. And you make an adjustment. Example, Saka, star boy for Arsenal. They've gone away to Bayern Munich on Wednesday night. The left back for Bayern Munich, Davies, he's out. He's suspended. In comes plan B, which is a weaker option. What did Tuchel do? He put a second player over there, overloaded that side, 2-on-1. They shut Saka out the game. They did that because Tuchel looked at the opposition. He watched Saka score a really good goal in the first leg. He watched Arsenal in the first leg, and he's like, that's not happening at our ground. I need to nullify that. So from the most basic level of looking at your opponent, looking at their tactic and shutting it down. And I'm talking basics. Tuchel did that. Obviously, Tuchel did a lot more than that, but I'm just giving a basic example. You cannot ignore your opposition and compensate some of your tactics just to at least nullify them. So, H, I hear what you're saying. I disagree. At every level, you've got to look at your opposition from a basic level and definitely from a more advanced level. That's my take on it. I do it when I coach. The first 15, 20 minutes, I look at the opposition because I don't get access to video technology and all the good stuff the pro clubs get. But when I look at the opposition, the first 15 minutes, I suss out their formation, their style of play, and which players on their pitch look tasty. And at halftime, I tweak my team if I have to make sure we're on top of what they do, but without sacrificing what we do either. So, yeah, I think those comments might come back to bite Ange. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We will find out.
It's a results business, though, and when you're winning, you're on top of the hill. When you start losing, the whispers, and all of a sudden, I'm wondering when anything leaks to the press that the players aren't happy with how much they've got to train, or because that hasn't come out yet. But you can bet your bottom dollar at some stage that's going to come out there. He's lost some of the players. The dressing room's not happy. They're questioning his tactics. That hasn't come out yet, but a few more results that go the wrong way, you can imagine that'll get leaked out. He's lost the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly. He will lose the dressing room, but we've been here before. Let's see what happens. It is a bit of rinse and repeat. I want to bring up this. Alistair Gold loves Timo Werner. Right, it's a bit of banter, people. Don't panic. A bit of tongue in cheek from me. Timo Werner loves Timo Werner loves banter. Listen to me. Right. So, Football.London, Alistair Gold, an article today. Tottenham have 15 million transfer. No brainer for Daniel Levy as Postecoglou eyes first summer deal. Interesting how it says no brainer for Daniel. The data shows Tottenham Hotspur should have a bargain on their hands with one of the players when the transfer window opens. So Alistair Gold's put that out, and then he's tweeted, now Timo Werner has played a certain amount of minutes. His data can be compared to other Premier League wingers, and he comes out very well. Personally, so this is Alistair Gold speaking on behalf of himself, personally, as an experienced option within a stronger Spurs squad for next season, it seems like a deal worth taking. Oh boy. Now, this is a big account saying, yeah, sign Timo Werner. These are the stats. Versus Premier League wingers per 90 minutes. Most successful dribbles, he's first. Most offensive duels won, he's first. Crosses into the box, first. Expected assists, second. He's in the 94 plus percentile. Top 7 leagues for assists, carries, XG, XA, attacking actions, and successful dribbles, people. Right. Okay. So
Shots missed, top 1%.
Well,
Goal scored.
my response is, why are these stats being ignored? Why are these stats being ignored in the analysis? Big chances missed, 4. It's actually 5 after Newcastle. 5. Goals scored, 2. Shooting accuracy, 24%. He misses the target. I know it says 75. It should say 76. He misses the target 76% of the time. He has not scored more than 9 goals in any season for the last 4 years in a row. Why are these stats being ignored by Alistair Gold? Why aren't we talking about the whole package and just focusing on dribbling? He's an attacking forward. He's not a winger. And there's one particular stat here. Expected assists. What the hell does that mean? Expected assists. Listen, you don't want to see my reply that I put on social media because I got blocked by Ali Gold. I got blocked today, but I'm done. I'm done with this Timo Werner parade. You all know how strongly I feel about this. Sean Butler, he put a poll out today, and he asked the question. Big up Sean Butler. Lots of debate about Timo Werner on Twitter tonight. What do you think we should do in the summer? The options were sign him, send him home, keep him on loan for one more year. Over 65% have said he should be at the club next year. Only 35% are saying send him home. The media are pushing the agenda to keep Timo. The big accounts are pushing the agenda to keep Timo. Channels are polling to see what you think. And the majority of fans responding are saying, keep Timo. Guys, this, for me, is the biggest Daniel Levy seed-planted PR, use the media spin massive, £15 million, how can I get away with this, brainwash everyone operation. There is no way in hell you are going to convince me keeping Timo Werner makes any sense. Ali Gold and the rest of this lot, for me, and it's only me saying it, this isn't a representation of Charlie, Eugene, or Matt. They are media puppets to the Enoch and Levy machine. That's how I look at this. Disagree with me, feel free. You're all allowed your opinions. I'm sticking to what I've said. If we sign Timo Werner, I'm done with Ange, the project, Levy, Lange, a lot of them. This is not the way forward for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm sorry. But, Matt, what's your take on this data, which is lopsided because it ignores all the shooting and goal data?
My eyes don't lie. That's as far as I gauge a player. The stats and data is background, just to kind of back up my thought process. But when I first played football, when scouts came to watch me, or the eye test, how's he move? Can he control the ball? Can he pass the ball? He's the Sissoko of our attack. That is Timo Werner. Do you remember when Sissoko used to gallop through midfield and sometimes it would be a 2v1 and the defender used to just allow Sissoko to shoot because it'd be a goal kick? He's literally replaced Sissoko as our attacking outlet. So I find it remarkable, the data and the stats that have been released. I find it almost disbelief. How on earth can he have those numbers? It makes you wonder with players like Cole Palmer, with Doku,
Diaz,
with
Saka,
Owen,
Foden,
Bailey, Foden. If you look at attacking players in the Premier League who've played a full season, how Timo Werner can be even equal, never mind above those players. So I think it is a very, very clever PR message. And it only takes one person to believe a lie for it to be true. So people will take that, and the Toucan Van Dams out there will go along with that and think that that's the reason why we should sign Timo Werner. And I think it will be an absolute miscarriage of justice. It will be, we must have players in the under 21s that can produce better performances, stats and data than Timo Werner. Because if that's the recruitment team's recommendation for us to sign him permanently, we're in a world of trouble.
Still,
Charlie, let me go to Charlie because I know he's got to go soon. But I'll come to you, Eugene. Charlie, what's your thinking on Timo Werner? And listen, you can say whatever you like, Charlie. If you disagree, you disagree. It's fine.
Guys, first I want to say I'm sorry for this howl I've put on today. I've just been too spontaneous. All of this stuff.
A disgrace, mate.
I know
Really
it is a disgrace. I'm my fault. I think at the start I was like, keep him. This is going to be right. It was only 5 games, and the 5 games he did play, I thought he was playing all right. But now he's seen the last 3 games, 4 games, and the misses he has made have been game changing in a bad way, not in a good way. They've been horrible. I mean, against Newcastle, having 2 of those chances in the first 10 minutes and not scoring both of them lets the game be so different than it should have been. If we would have scored one of them, the game would have been so much different because the way we would have played would have been more attacking. Newcastle would have been, it would have been more of a mental game then. So with Werner, I'm out. I was in, but I'm out now, and I think these stats are ludicrous. I don't know where we see the stats. I think maybe it's in training. Maybe they're tracking him in training. And expected assists. Imagine having to see expected assists and not actual assists. Because what do I have with an expected assist? I can expect to throw 100 darts in the rows, but if I don't throw 100 darts in the rows, who cares? It doesn't count. I mean, he has to still make the good pass to score. If it's an expected assist and it doesn't come, why? Who cares? It's not going to help us win a game, those expected assists. It has to be an assist. You know what I mean? So all these stats are very irrelevant to me, and he should just go.
Right. Yeah, people are saying for me to put my reply up. No, it was along the lines of, I'm surprised you didn't send us expected penis size.
Why
not?
Charlie. Why not? Still.
Listen, Charlie's a big lad.
But still, to tell the truth, right? I've been saying this, right? We got 4 players who can't score goals. Why do we? And we want to challenge for the title next season. It's a joke if he's going to sign Timo Werner, who's got that kind of stats, right? Yeah, all the unexpected, all the expecteds, right, are good, right? But the actual stat that matters the most is that ball in the net. He can't even do that, right? If you can't get the ball in the net, it's a waste of time. So as I see this, right, Stel, you and I are on the same page, right? The big media guys already planted the seeds of Timo in. So, right, we are the minority of this, right? So we're going to sign Timo Werner. If not permanent, he'll be on a loan, right? So at least he won't be agile.
Guys, I think Arsenal planted those stats so Levy would buy him. I think Arsenal did that so we get a bad player.
Mate,
can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What would you, and the people in the chat, if you had the option of Stephen Bergwijn or Timo Werner, who would you prefer?
Stephen Bergwijn.
Charlie?
Bergwijn, but I'm not too sure because Bergwijn was not made. I think go Bergwijn. I'll go Bergwijn.
Yeah, honestly, to tell the truth, right, Matt, Bergwijn never had his chance to play a lot. We didn't actually get to see him a lot, so it's quite a hard comparison. I don't know. Bergwijn, at least when he came on, he made us get excited a bit, right, to a certain extent. The Leicester game was the one that actually would push me towards Bergwijn. Right? What has Timo Werner done recently in this past 5-6 games?
I think Stephen Bergwijn, hands down, is a better dribbler, and he's definitely a better striker of the ball. Timo Werner is a better crosser of the ball. And I think for our system, the number one priority is you've got to be able to at least hit the freaking target, test the goalies, ideally score goals. And I think dribbling is the most important thing because teams are going to keep low blocking us. And when each team that low blocks us, the only way we're going to get past it with the 4 players is either pinpoint laser precision passing or players that can take on a man, like properly beat them. This stat about Timo's number 1 for dribbling. What planet are you on?
Guys, I've just looked at Bergwijn's stats and he is playing in the Eredivisie, which is not a great league, and he doesn't have the best stats. He's got 9 goals, 4 assists, and he's not great at crossing. He's not doing all these things all right. So I don't know if Bergwijn is actually that much better.
Ajax are a mess this year.
No, but I know, Stel, you're from a different country. I've been to their games. Then they're a mess. I know they're 6th, and this is not their best season. But still, the Eredivisie is a league that you've got teams like Excels, like these 20 teams that are 18th. They're literally below championship level. You should be able to score. Everybody in our team will score a hat trick against them all day.
Yeah,
it's a completely different league.
Chelsea and Man United.
Oh, your mute cell.
Chelsea and Man United with the players they've got, they should be high up the league, but they're not. When your club is toxic, when your club is a mess, the CEO of Ajax has been forced to step down. When your club's a mess, I think everything goes wrong. I think Ajax this year is not a good place to be for any football player.
But was the CEO of Ajax that guy who was a paedophile or something like that? That was who was like not paedophile, sorry, grooming those girls. That was him, right? The old player Overmars. That was the CEO, right?
I don't know about.
He was he was.
I don't know about what happened, but
yeah. So I mean, like, Ajax he didn't set down because it went so badly. He would set down because of other reasons.
The point I'm making is, I don't rate Bergwijn. I don't think he's much better than Timo. Right? Let's be honest. I don't think he's the answer. But if you ask me, the system we play and what we do, I would take Bergwijn over Werner. Yeah, I would.
Then I would.
The point I'm trying to make is, if you sell Bergwijn for 15 million, by the way, in sterling, that was 15 million we sold him for, then surely you upgrade, you improve the personnel and that position. A year later, we're now going to theoretically replace him permanently with a player, in my opinion, who's worse or on par. It makes no sense. Surely we're here to improve the squad and improve the actual playing 11. So why on earth would you sell Bergwijn and bring in Timo Werner, who is much of a muchness? It just makes no sense.
We know. Yeah. But...
Yep. We.
Big up, Dan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something a little bit different. Let's laugh at Arsenal just a little bit, right? So this has been a talking point. I don't know if you watch other channels that are non-Spurs, but this has been a talking point. There's been a lot of criticism directed at Arsenal for their club account, the way they tweeted Arsenal's exit from the Champions League, and they compared it to all the other clubs that exited, the English clubs, right? So, Man City, their club tweet was, "Our Champions League journey comes to an end." Liverpool said, "We exit the Europa Cup." West Ham United, "Our Europa League journey comes to an end." Arsenal, "A Champions League journey to be proud of." Guys.
What? Quarterfinals? Stefan's proud of them. No.
Stefan's definitely proud. Guys, are they trying a bit too hard over there at Arsenal? Are they trying a bit too hard? When the reality, the journey that Arsenal are proud of, the reality is this. Eric Dyer's been to now as many semi-finals as Arsenal Football Club in the Champions League. Is this to be proud of? I'm just asking the question. You know. Sorry if you're an Arsenal fan watching this show, but we've got to talk the truth. And the truth is, your Twitter account. I cuss the Spurs Twitter account, but I actually think the Arsenal one's worse. Do you know that? I think they're worse than us.
Why would you be an Arsenal fan watching a Tottenham show? I mean, like, you're doing something wrong there if you are. Sorry about that.
And lots of Arsenal fans to watch Tottenham away, right? But guys, to tell you the truth, right?
Because normally they're battering us.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're not today.
But we always get to banter them back because they do stuff like this. They hit the self-destruct button. What do you make of it? Do you think some clubs are trying too hard with their social media?
Yeah. Still, it's the same thing like what Decky said, right? We win in life. Same thing, no difference, right? So let them feel good on what they said. Yeah, like Spurs fans, a lot of fans are saying, "Yeah, we won in life too," right? Clap, clap, clap.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, dear.
Matt,
But,
what do you make of it? Do you think like social media with football clubs is just a little bit OTT at the moment? It's a little bit, come on, relax.
It's a powerful tool, you know. It's such a powerful tool because
Yeah,
people have it on
it
their
is.
phone, you know. They could be on the train or whatever. It's a quick snap of what's going on for updates and so forth. So that what they're trying to do is give a positive message about the exit. I think the fact that there wasn't in the Champions League for 7 seasons highlights that. But yeah, I think they're just trying to, you know, give that nice gesture to the fan base, but doesn't wash with me. There was nobody more happy when they went out the Champions League. I can assure you. My nephew and my sister refused to answer my phone calls. Who are my nephew's a season ticket holder at Arsenal. My sister, obviously, is a diehard Arsenal fan. So you have no idea how happy I was to leave a voice message on their phones the moment the final whistle.
I bet you loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Unbelievable. Well, she lives bang in Edmonton, you know, so it's like walking distance. So it was just heaven to send that message.
I'm bloody happy too, because all of my friends at school, like I've got a lot of expats at school, are English too. They're all Arsenal fans, all of them. It's crazy. Everyone in Holland's or an Arsenal fan or a City fan. It feels like they've chosen the club that's only been winning 20. That was only winning 20 years ago. You know what I mean? All the expats here are for Arsenal or for City. So when I came into school on Wednesday day or Thursday, I was laughing them all out. They were all so mad at me. I was trolling them the whole day, saying Arsenal's crap. You bottled everything. All my mates are Arsenal fans, and I just keep saying you're crap. You're crap. You ain't got nothing on us. Tottenham's the best team in England. I know I'm just saying all this just to get in their heads, but it's amazing. These kind of things make my week.
Charlie, just remember this, right? When you're in an environment where you are the minority fan because you're surrounded by the enemy, okay? Keep your head high, your chest out, never ever back down.
I only wear this to school. This.
Yeah, that's
Tottenham
it. You
Hotspur
represent.
kit. I represent every day.
Even if we're in the mud, which we normally are, you must represent. It's part of being an N17, you know.
If you ask my friends, I've been wearing these kits. You know the other one. I've got the navy blue one. I only wear every day a minimum one Tottenham thing every day to school. A minimum one Tottenham item on my clothes to school. 100%. I've got to represent them every day. We cannot have no representation at my school.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? You're the king of the school because of it. There you go. How's about that?
Exactly.
Let me ask you guys something a little bit different. A bit left field, but the new kit, the leak was out this week, but I thought, you know what? What's your favorite ever away kit? So these are the kits. So if you can't see, guys, I couldn't make it much bigger. But we've got from 1991 all the way to 2018. So you've got the Umbro era, the Pony, Adidas, Kappa, Puma, Under Armour, and Nike. If you could pick one kit from there, what are you picking, guys? Which one? Which one takes your fancy? People in the comments, tell me the kit that you would take.
For me, the light blue and the purple goes off already. I know it's a bit prejudiced, but I think the 2017-18 one is really nice. And the one that's Dan's holding, I know it's purple, but that is actually a really nice kit.
That's my favourite one. That one.
But I think 17-18. Sorry, go for it.
Which one's that, Matt? Oh, the 2002, 2003. Kappa.
No,
is that Kappa?
I like the 2016-17 one.
That's my favourite Tottenham away shirt.
Matt, put it up again a minute. Put it up again.
Kappa with the Thompson.
I like the badge on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, favourite one. They should make a replica of that, a brand new one. I keep searching for it.
I'm not going to lie. I'm stuck
don't mind
between
this one.
That's the third kit, Charlie. That's the third kit.
I know, but it was still a lot of hate was put on that kit, even though I thought it was a really nice kit.
17-18, people are saying 100%. Matt, agree with you. 94-95. Bruised Banana for me. 95-97, 2017. Do you know what? I've got to agree with Gary and Tony. The 2017-18 kit for me.
No, that was a nice
I love
one.
the navy. Yeah, it's amazing. The navy blue.
And the sponsor's not in red. It's just simple. But I've got to say, the bruised Banana as well. The 91-94 Umbro kit is, I don't know if I like the kit or it's just memories, but something about that kit. I'm always drawn to it, you know. I'm always drawn to it. Guys, listen, we're going to go for another 15 minutes before we wrap it up. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat. We'll do your questions. I forgot to put up the community post today. I did it late, so I haven't given you time to answer. Normally you put questions up, but I screwed up. I forgot. So if you've got any questions, put it in the chat now, and we'll do questions for the next 15 minutes.
I'll stay for another 15
I'm with Dan. I'm with Dan, the 16-17 one. Yeah, with the dark blue and the gold. Yeah, that was
16-17. Yeah, that was
blue and gold. That's nice too. Yeah.
I'd like to see Spurs wear a black and white kit. I'd like to see us do that. I think the
We've
badge.
never done that before, right?
I think the badge looked pretty slick in that.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've got any questions, please put your questions in, and we will go through them one by one. We're only going to go for another 15 minutes, so any questions, put them in. Melina
So
says,
Darren Aries has asked, who is this new striker we have bid for?
Where is that question?
About
647.
Yeah, just above Miss Melina.
Oh, right. Okay, let Matt answer this question because he did send us something in the WhatsApp group the other day. Matt.
Yeah, so he's not the tallest. He's a 5'7", 5'8". He's predominantly plays on the left or the right. He is one of the quickest things I've seen, and I mean lightning quick. But what separates him from Brendan Johnson is he's actually quick with the ball as well. Very direct. So hopefully most of us, when we watch Tottenham, we get frustrated when the ball just keeps going from left to right, recycling the ball, and we don't have wide players that can engage their defender and take him on. That will open up so many opportunities for Tottenham. He's a player that excels in the one-on-one duel. He receives a lot of free kicks because of how he gets past his man with his low sense of gravity. Question marks. He's never played in the Premier League. He's never played at that level. So there's certainly been an adaptation period. But he's an exciting player. And I think we lack players that get you off your seat. And he's an exciting player.
Yeah.
Manor Solomon, imagine Manor Solomon, but more direct and 5-10% quicker. He's lightning quick. So, sorry, go on.
Matt, question: is he an out number 9, or is he a?
No, he plays left or right. He's not a number 9. No, he's too small. But he's one of those players. Almost what Stel was saying the other week. If you look at Liverpool when they were at their peak, where they had Mane and Salah that came from out to in, there weren't wide players that put balls into the box. Firmino would drop deep and they would enter into that V section. He's that type of attacker. So he'll go from wide, but he's looking to dart in. And once he beats the offside trap, you're not catching him. He's exciting. That's all I'll say. He's exciting for sure.
And he's young, right?
I believe he's 23 years of age, I believe.
So if we get him, that means he's more or less supposed to be replacing Werner or supporting Werner on the left or on the right, or or for Decky, or that's how you.
Yeah, I just think he can play either side. either flank. But he's direct and he's competent on the ball. The criticism of some of our wide players are they're not competent on the ball. They get it, they pass it. He's a player that will get it and he will engage. He'll either lose it or he'll go past him. It's one or the other. He's that quick. So he's something different to what we've got. We don't have, even though Werner's stats suggest he's this great dribbler, this guy is a dribbler. He will go past people at pace. The only question mark is the Premier League.
And how many goals will he get for us? That's the other question.
Okay, we won't know that. We won't know that. But he's an exciting player for sure.
Guys, there's a lot of questions that have just come in. We'll try and get through as many as we can. We've only got 10 minutes, so we'll just kind of speed fire it. Maybe just get one person to take it in turns to answer. So, Charlie, get the rest of the season. If we start badly next season, do you think Ange will last?
Yeah, I think he'll last whatever. I think next season he'll 100% stay, because if Levy sacks him now, we'll have no other option. This club will go to complete ruins, and I think there'll be nothing left. We'll be battling relegation if this guy, because then nobody wants to play anymore. I mean, no, I'm just making a joke. But like, listen, if Ange goes, the whole hope of the fan base is gone. We'll have to get a new manager. We'll get a whole new cycle. We've got Ange's players in now. I feel like to get Ange out next season is a bit too soon. Give him another season, and like in his third season, we'll get him gone, because otherwise we'll have 3 seasons or 3 managers that haven't lasted more than a season.
Charlie, forget what you think. Do you think he will last? As in, do you think the fans will stick by him, turn against him? Will Levy pull the trigger?
I think there's so much love for him. I think he'll stay. I think Levy knows that the chance about him. I think he'll stay another season, no matter.
There's a lot of love for Poch as well.
There was, but he stayed for 5 seasons or 6, 4 seasons, 5 seasons.
But he never had a bad season to start. That's the question. If he starts bad, if in the first 10 games we win 2, draw 2, lose 6.
Oh dear.
I think they'll give him to December if he does it. If they don't.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, cool. Give him to December. Eugene. Oh no, Charlie, you got to do this one. Are you starting your own channel, Charlie?
Yes. in the next week, I'll make a video instruction about myself and my preview for Arsenal, all that. So get down. Charlie Spurs in 17 is my channel. Get heads up for the next week.
Charlie Spurs at 17. There you go. Check it out. As soon as it goes live, we will promote it on this channel, so you'll all know. Eugene, what are you having for tea?
Oh, I'm past tea time, guys. I'm sorry. It's 1:53 a.m. here in Malaysia, right? So most
all right, take another question.
All right.
Take another question. Predictions for Man City, Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal. Right, let's all do this. Let's all go in quickly. So, right. Man City, Chelsea, Eugene. FA Cup.
FA Cup.
Yeah.
FA Cup. 2-2. Extra time. MCT lose and penalties.
Matt.
Man City win. Draw. Wolves, Arsenal. And
no, do the Man City one only. Let's do this. We'll go around. We'll take it turns. Right, Man City, Chelsea. I'm going to go a draw. Man City to win on penalties. Charlie?
City choose to win.
All right. Eugene, Wolves, Arsenal, Premier League.
1-1.
1-1. Matt?
Draw. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1.
I'm going for a draw as well. Charlie?
I'm going for an Arsenal win, because Wolves has got 8 injuries or so I don't think it's not going to be a happy day.
Okay. Fulham versus Liverpool. Is that Premier League or that's the league? Fulham versus Liverpool. Eugene.
Fulham sometimes don't turn up. Liverpool had a long game. I'll go 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Matt.
Liverpool worry me at the moment. I'm going Fulham 2-1.
Fulham 2-1. This is difficult. I think Liverpool win.
Yeah, me too. I think after this game, they'll have fire back in their bellies and they'll try to go for the win. I think it'll be a Liverpool win.
Alrighty. Eugene. In fact, no, Matt's question. Any player you'd want us to sign if you had to pick one?
Wow. Kone,
Mane Kone. Yeah,
midfield, general.
Yeah. I agree. All right, I'll take this one. If you was the manager, how many players would you get rid of and how? I don't know what you mean by how, but I would
How long have you
I
got?
would-
We're not
How
going
long
to kill
have we
him.
got?
Come on.
I would shoot them. I would get rid of, in terms of bench and starting players, there's 10 to 12 players I'd get rid of. 10 to 12 players. I'd get rid of all the attacking players except for some. I'd probably get rid of 2 midfielders, Højbjerg and Skip. And I'd also get rid of 2. I'd get rid of Emerson and Davies. So what's that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's a couple of bench players. So that's not going to happen. But that's what I would do. Charlie, would you bring back Dele Alli?
Why not? Like, if we didn't have to pay for him, why not? I mean, like he if he gets his form back, that would be amazing. I don't see a reason not to.
I worry about you, know that. I do worry about you.
I know, dude. But listen, I love when Dele Alli was in his prime. He was so good. I know he's been horrible for the last couple of seasons, but let's say he is horrible for a half season. We just release him. We can literally get him on a free. Doesn't really matter. We just release him after 6 months. He doesn't do well. So no hard feelings about that. Just if we have him in the team, and if he does show his class back, it does show us his class. We could just see that Dele Alli that we had, and he could do so much in this system.
Fair enough. Eugene, if we do not get Champions League, do you think fans will be happy with buying more young talent or so-called smart buys for the Europa League?
That's first to tell the truth, right? Our fans, in general, in majority, will be happy whatever we buy. Right? Everyone will be hunky-dory and happy with all the players that we bring in, so it doesn't matter whether it's for the Champions League or whether it's for the Europa League, right? Young talent or smart buys, it is what it is. Welcome to Spurs. Congratulations. Yeah, we got our Spurs back.
I'm not going to be happy with Martial. Not at all.
Matt, would you accept an offer for Heung-min Son if it was 75 million or above this summer?
Oh, this is a tough one. I would say yes.
Yes.
I would say yes.
I would,
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
You do it, yeah?
I would do it.
Would anyone else here do it?
I'd say yes too.
I think at his age to say no to that is
ridiculous.
Okay, I guess the worry is, will we get a replacement? If we didn't get a replacement for
He'd probably sign Kiefer Moore or somebody like that.
No. We'll sign Timo Werner on permanent.
Levy would sign Kiefer Moore and I don't know, buy a restaurant or something like that with the proceeds, I would guess.
A new bowling alley or something. Yeah.
Question for me: do you think Kulusevski would work as a striker? Tony, no chance, man.
No.
Not for me, bro. I don't see that one happening at all. Charlie, if Ange gets back in the summer, like Arteta got back last summer, will Tottenham challenge for the Premier League title next season?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
What did you say?
Well, no, listen. Listen, he got like 4 players, Arteta. With 4 players, we're not going. It doesn't matter who we get. We're not going to compete with the Cities, the Arsenals, the Liverpools. Listen, everyone is improving. Everyone is getting backed. Arteta will be back this season again. City will. Pep will be back this season again. Who says that if only we get back, that we will be challenging for the title? Maybe we will be challenging, but we won't win it. That's what I mean. I think we'll get third. We're not going to win. We're not going to be challenging for second or first. Not at all, because everyone is going to improve, not only us. That's the point I've made before, and I'm going to stick with that point.
Back to you, Stelios. Eugene, what positions and what level of player, top, great, or good, do you think we will sign this summer? Right. What do you think Spurs will do this summer?
Seriously asking me that? Top, great, good. Okay. I think we get okay players, right? We don't go for the top and great. Okay or good players, right? Great and top, not that much. Who do you think we will sign? I don't know. Are we going to sign the players? We ain't going to get the Mbappe's.
What position do you think we'll get? What positions do you think we'll sign?
We will sign what positions, or what do I think we need in the position?
No. What do you think we will do as a club this summer?
This summer,
What
right? We will do it as a club, right? Like we say, we'll sign Timo Werner on the cheap, right? Then we'll
That's
get
a right attacking forward. Right attacking forward.
One attacking forward. If we get rid of Højbjerg and Skip, right? Are we going to get in, like I said, a Kone in, right? We'll be able to afford that. Okay. Are we going to bring in another left back to cover? Sorry, is it right back? Sorry, right back.
Eugene, what do you think? What do you think the club will do? Though, this is the question. What do you think the club will do in terms of positions? So you think Werner? So you think we'll get a right winger? You think if we sell Højbjerg and Skip, we'll get in the number 6? So number 6, a right winger. What else do you think we'll do?
If we get rid of Ben Davis, maybe undercover Udogi, or maybe somebody like a left or right wing. Fullback. Inverted fullback that we can place. Yeah. Yeah. 3 positions. Yeah. Do
you think we'll get a striker?
We should get a striker. Someone who can actually use the head to hit the ball in, apart from Richarlison. We should need that too. Yeah.
Striker. What about another centre back or a commanding midfielder or another attacking?
I think on the centre back part, right, with Romero, Dragusin, and VDV, we do need somebody there. But the thing is that maybe we'll give a chance to the youth to come through. I hope that happens. You get what I'm saying? But the thing is that with these 3 playing in that role, and if we can use Dragusin more, right, to cover between VDV and Romero, if he fits in properly, then we might not need to actually sign a centre back, right, and maybe promote a youth. Who's on our youth now? Is it Donnelly or was it Dorrington or Donnelly out of it? Right.
All right. Yeah. So 4 players plus some young players maybe. Last question. Guys, sorry if I haven't got round to all your questions, but it is now 2 hours, so time is up. Last question, Matt. Where do you think, that's a good question, where do you think Lucas Bergvall will fit into the squad next season?
I think he will be knocking on the door to play. I don't think he's been brought in to go with the under 21s or to go out on loan. I think Bergvall will get minutes less next season, and then it's up to him. It's very difficult just watching YouTube. I've never watched a full 90 minutes to fully assess him, but the basic ingredients, he's got 6'1", 6'2", comfortable on the ball, glides past people, looks like he could physically demand with the rigors of the Premier League, looks intelligent, football intelligence. It looks like he understands, he sees pictures. I think he will be a enhancement to Tottenham next season. He's better than some of the players we've got at the moment.
What position, Matt?
I think he will play in the midfield. I'm, you know me still, I'm not into the 6, 8 and whatever numbers, but for me, he will play in midfield with license to go and affect the game. But not to get your duties.
So Bentancur's kind of position.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means he will be more or less fighting with Bentancur and Madison.
I think he could play both roles.
Madison's more.
I think he could play both roles. I think he's even competent enough to play wide because he's comfortable on the ball. So if you look at a Grealish, you look at sometimes Foden plays out there. You look at the other guy from Man City who plays out, Bernardo Silva. I think he's even got that ability, especially with him being young. I think he might even be put out wide in some games as well. He's an exciting talent.
I think he's going to go forward right. In my view, I think he's going to go forward right.
The techies position.
Yeah, that's what I think. Guys, thanks as always. Charlie, thanks for being here, buddy.
Thank you so much. Can I Go to my Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. Charlie Spurs and 17. Is that all right? I do this still?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. And guys, usually I don't have these kind of howlers. Usually I'm more to the point, but give me 2 energies and I'm done. I'm talking all over the place. So thanks for having me on, Sal. I hope I can come on more, and thanks. Have a good one, guys.
We're gonna have a committee meeting about your performance to discuss what we think going forward. All right. So we'll get back to you. My people will speak to you. Of course you can come on, mate. Always. Listen, I've had some shockers on YouTube. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
I've been, mate, when we first started, I went to hit at the bottom of this. There's when you do your own show, there's a button you push. Says leave studio. So if I want to leave, I'll see you later, guys, and you carry on, mate. Instead, I've hit the end show button. So I've said bye to everyone. I've just ended the stream. I've had some shockers. Don't worry. Eugene, plug your channel. When are you next on?
Spurs Vision TV, guys. If you have time, I'm still trying to plan the part 2 of my financial report show. Right, it took us 1.5 hours just to get through 5 pages. The numbers are interesting, right? But whenever you go into it, right, it drives you crazy because there are a lot of truths in it, and it really scares me at this moment in time. I've been saying, I'm worried that next season, this coming summer, we don't have money to spend because our projects that we have to do on the other side of things, like property development and all that needs a lot of money. That's why Levy wants more investors to come in. But I've got this question: if people are coming in with 100 million, 200 million, 300 million pounds, right? If you don't give them a return of investment on their money, right? Nobody's going to put money into our club. That's it.
Matt?
Part 2, financial report coming up soon.
Part 2, check it out. Over to you, Matt.
Listen, thanks for the invite. Charlie, Eugene, really insightful. Just really enjoyed it. Thanks for everybody in the comments for your contribution. Keep subscribing and liking to Tottenham Away. It's hard work what Stell does, so it doesn't go unnoticed. So really grateful if you guys could hit the like and subscribe button. And look forward to speaking to you all hopefully next week, and stay safe.
Stay safe, people. Thank you to Just Harmless Potato, new channel member. Big up to everyone in the chat today. Thanks for watching. As always, smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yes, Charlie, go for it.
One more thing, guys. This week, like in the next 4 days, there'll be a video on my YouTube channel, Charlie Spurs and 70. It'll be my first video. Please go and check it out, guys. Just needed to plug that.
Charlie, I'm going to be on there. I'm going to be on there.
Charlie, is your YouTube channel up already?
Yeah, I've already got a YouTube channel. Just no videos yet.
Okay. Guys, go and subscribe to Charlie's channel, right?
Send me the link so I can promote it on our socials, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Sal.
What's happened to me? No, you're welcome. Guys, to all you Timo lovers, to all you fans getting sucked in by the Spurs PR, I'm going to leave you with what rivals of our club, what they have to say about Timo Werner. And I'm out of it. Have a great weekend, people. Bye-bye.
And as always,
it felt like we were in complete control of the whole game, and Spurs early on threatened, but they had Timo Werner, so that was never going to be a problem.
It's like trying to draw with a blunt pencil.
Exactly.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.